Nozipho Mclean is a South African actress who is gracing American television screens. She moved to New York in 2013 to study acting and graduated in 2015. When she started her career, she went straight into the city where dreams are made of, Hollywood. Well, she currently stars in the HBO hit series Westworld and plays the character of Wade. She joins us now this morning to share more on her character and international break. Nozipho, a very good morning to you. Well, welcome to Morning Live. I mean, how did you even land this role for this new series? That's the most thing I'm curious about.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I actually just got sent out for an audition, which is really how the role came about, and yeah.
Yeah. Speak to us about the decision to move so you can further your studies and your career. How did that come about?
Well, I was studying at UCT, and I did my undergrad in psychology and sociology there. I come from a very creative family. My sister is an actor and went into performing arts, and my dad is a musician, and so was my grandfather, and so I was always like leaning into the art side as well. And then after I graduated, I just decided to sort of jump into the belly of the beast to sort of pursue my dreams of reaching like the big screens. So yeah, that's kind of how that came about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say have been the highlights of embarking on this journey?
The highlights. I mean, it's been a variety of stepping stones along the way. I initially went to study at New York Film Academy, so that's where I started off. And then shortly after graduating, I managed to get signed, which was great. And then after that, I booked my first role on a TV show called Bull on CBS. And then from there, I booked a variety of other things like Madam Secretary and Divorce. And so you start with little co-star spots on network television shows. And most recently, I booked Westworld, which was great. But it's been a long journey and taken a lot of patience and resilience, and yeah.
Speaking of this journey and how long it's been, I mean, with every role, I imagine it comes with its own lessons. What are some of the lessons that have come along the way for you?
There have been many, honestly. I think belief in self is a big one. And realizing that also, like, my differences, as much as you want to assimilate, I think your differences are also what make you stand out and stand apart. I think also it's been a valuable lesson in patience and also realizing, I like to say that in the acting field, it's easy to take things personally, and a lot of the time, because you get a lot of no's. But I always like to say that, you might be the perfect orange, but they're just looking for a pineapple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The most ideal orange, but they just need a pineapple. So I think I've just learned to not always take a no to heart, and realize that what's right for me will be for me. And so that's been a valuable takeaway for me on my journey this far.
And talk to us about this industry, this Hollywood film and television industry. What does it look like from the outside?
What does the industry look like from the outside?
Yeah, from somebody who may not know. For us South Africans sitting here thinking, with all this glitz and glam, for somebody who may not know, what does it seem like, the Hollywood industry?
I think, well, from the outside, it could be seen as like, you just come, you audition and book a role, and now I'm around Westworld. But, it's taken a lot of patience. It's taken a lot of auditions. It's taken a lot of training. So, navigating the industry, I think it's also a matter of building relationships in the right places you know, with casting offices, and really just developing those rapport with people as well, so that you can get into the spaces that you'd like to get into. But yeah, from the outside, you know, I don't know. I think it can be perceived as both difficult or easy, depending on at what stage of someone's journey you catch up on, you know? So, yeah, I think there's a lot about the Hollywood space that can be an enigma even when you're in it. So I think understanding, like I said, just going back to, you just never know why. You don't always know why you book a role. And like I said, it's just a matter of the right combination of things coming together to work in your favor. You know, it's when preparation meets timing.
Yeah.
And that's really where the spark lies, I think.
Yeah. Talk to us about this role that we've just touched on in Westworld. Who is she? What does she do? Tell us a little bit about that.
Wade. She's a mother and a wife. And that's kind of where we are introduced to her in this show. I play across Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, and he plays my husband in the show. Her character then evolves into playing quite an important role in forming the resistance against the powers that be, as it may, in the show. So she kind of just goes from, you know, wanting to live a simple family life to realizing that her reality is a little more complex than that, and takes it upon herself to help others who haven't quite been brainwashed, as it were, by I don't know if you watched the show, but by the powers that be in the show, and collecting all the people that can form part of the resistance, of which then her child comes and sort of takes over that mission after she no longer can. So, yeah.
How much of yourself are you forced to push, and your craft? How much does this character push you?
I think, you know what? The stakes are really high. The stakes are really high in the show, just in general. Westworld is really high stakes. So I think that was a challenge for me, is just attaching to what's at risk here, you know, and wanting a particular life for my child. I'm not a mother myself yet, although I, you know, have a lot of nieces and nephews. So in a lot of ways, I feel like one, but I haven't birthed my own child quite yet. So I think stepping into that role as well, and just realizing that I had to kind of step up to the plate in terms of what type of future I'd want for my child as well in the show. And also having to stay safe was a big thing. So it was really like there was a lot of life and death scenarios. You know, I had to, in the third episode, I had to sort of save our lives, and we made a run for it. And so really attaching to those stakes was a stretch for me as well as having my husband leave us, which was also a difficult scene for us to shoot, just emotionally. You know, I really had to stretch myself emotionally in that scene when we shot it. So.
And what else are you currently working on at the moment?
Well, currently I'm back auditioning again. I did a little part in a film earlier this year, which will hopefully be out next year sometime. But yeah, now we kind of get back down to the hustle. You know, you book a role, you shoot it, it starts to roll out, and then hopefully more things come off the back of that. So I've kind of just been in the process of watching the release come out. My latest episode literally just dropped on a Sunday. So, you know, we kind of just see what comes off the back of that as it continues to come out.
And what's the ultimate dream?
Ooh, I mean, my next ultimate dream, I think, is really to book a series regular part on a show that I find challenging and will continue to expand me as an actor. That would be my next stepping stone. I think ultimately, yes, I would like to get to the point where I'm like, I'm winning Emmys. But right now, I always like to say, focus on the next step. I think that's always sort of been my motto as I've navigated my career. Is like, I went from like, okay, get into school, okay, get a rep, okay, what's the next job, okay, what's the next level? So for right now, my next level is to hopefully book a series regular job on ideally stay in the HBO family would be great. But I'm open to any network.
Yeah. All right, Nozipho, thank you so much for talking to us. Good luck with your career further. Such a great opportunity to speak to you. Thank you so much for talking to us. All right. She stars in HBO hit series Westworld, and she's a South African lady living in Hollywood.